Okay, let me turn now to another newsmaker tonight. Someone making the news. A day after British MP Debbie Abrahams questioned the government on her visa being revoked, government sources say that the Labour Party MP did not hold a valid visa at the time of travel. Sources say that her e-business visa was revoked on the 14th of February because they say that the British MP indulged in activities against India's interests. Government sources claiming that Debbie was issued an e-business visa and visiting family and friends is not permitted under that visa. Joining me now is Debbie Abraham. She is at the moment in Dubai. We are told on her way to Islamabad. I appreciate your joining us, ma'am. You're hearing what the Indian government is saying very clearly. You were not on a valid visa. Your e-visa, they say, was an e-business visa. It was not a visa which was meant for you to come to this country for what was seen to be a visit to meet friends, and the government suspected also a visit to go to Jammu and Kashmir.
Well, with respect, the visa that I had and the business that I was in India for, nobody asked me any questions about that. So I arrived, presented my documents, and they just said it had revoked. They didn't ask me why I was there. They just said that it had been revoked. So I'm afraid, unfortunately, the Indian authorities are not doing themselves any favours by making things up as if they go along.
No, but your visa, e-business visa, and according to the government as an MP, that was not the visa that you should have been coming into the country with.
With respect, they didn't know why I was coming into the country. So they never asked me. That never even was a question. There was no question at all when I arrived. Did they ask me why I was travelling? Neither. I was offline since the 13th of February, so I never received the documents they said, which, to be fair, was 48 hours before I was due to travel. 48 hours, and they notified me then. Again, not knowing of the circumstances for my
So why were you coming? Why were you coming? What was the purpose of your visit?
I was coming to meet with family members and their friends. So my sister-in-law's cousin, who lives in Delhi, and her mother, I was coming to stay with them just overnight before I travelled on to Pakistan. I have
a statement from a Congress leader. A Congress leader, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Ms. Abrahams said today, the deportation of Debbie Abrahams by India was indeed necessary, as she's not just an MP but a Pakistan proxy, known for her clash with the Pakistan government and the ISI. Every attempt that tries to attack India's sovereignty must be thwarted. How do you respond? You're being called a Pakistan proxy and ISI proxy.
I'm nobody's proxy. My proxy, if anything, is about standing up for human rights of anybody, anywhere. I have in my constituency a large number of Kashmiri heritage constituents who have not been able to get in contact with family members. It is wherever there is injustice, I will stand up for those who are fighting for their rights. It is not about siding with a particular government. When I am in Pakistan, I will also be asking them questions in relation to the UN report, that was published last year about human rights abuses on both sides of the line of control.
Right.
My sole function and the sole function of the group that I represent, that I chair, is about making sure that Kashmiris across the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir and in Azad Kashmir have human rights observed.
But let's be very clear. Why is it that you've built this reputation as being seen as someone who advocates Pakistan's cause? This cannot be, can that, you are telling me today that when you go to Pakistan, will you raise questions about the gross human rights violations in Pakistan, or indeed how Pakistan has allowed its soil to be used for cross-border terrorism against India? Would you raise those uncomfortable questions to the Pakistani establishment? How can they say Masood Azhar has disappeared? Okay,
would you like me to answer that? Yes. I have already raised questions. And I will continue to do so. But I find it offensive. Anybody who does any research into the work that I have done since I was elected as a Member of Parliament back in 2011 will know the work that I do It is not about ever siding with a particular state. It is about representing the rights of people, trying to reduce the inequalities that people suffer and experience. As I say, the gross human rights violations on both sides of the line of control. And I would welcome anybody who hasn't read that report, because it goes into both human rights in Azad Kashmir and Jammu and Kashmir, to do that, to open their eyes. That is what I'm trying to do.
And when you focus on human rights, I presume, ma'am, you also include the fact that innocent civilians have been killed by terror, which has been sponsored from across the border.
Absolutely. And I will be raising this if I have the opportunity to meet with Prime Minister Khan, what he is doing around ensuring that terrorism is curbed and the security of minorities within Azad Kashmir. But we cannot get away from the fact that there are human rights abuses across the world, but including in Jammu and Kashmir. So I will continue to be critical to the Indian government as long as there are human rights issues which have been independently reported. And if the Indian government feels that is well, they think that it's contrary to what an MP should be doing, then I think that's a real sorry state of affairs for the largest democracy in the world, that they take such a regressive view. It's not the sign of a healthy democracy.
Can I ask you a final question? Are you still hopeful that at some stage in the near future you will get a visa? Or do you believe that this makes it that much more difficult now for you to actually come to this part of, to come to India and go and see what's happening for yourself in the valley? You know that various EU ambassadors have been taken to the valley.
I hope so. I mean, I did ask for the Indian High Commissioner, in the same way that I asked the Pakistani High Commissioner, to facilitate a delegation to Jammu and Kashmir. I still am awaiting a response. In fact, I have had no response to any of the communication that I have made with the Indian High Commissioner over the last 12 months while I've been chair of the all-party group for Kashmir, which I find very disappointing. That's not how friends should treat each other. But I am hopeful. I do not bear any grudges. I always look forward, and I am prepared to meet with anyone on behalf of the Indian government to look at concerns that I have. I don't bear grudges. I was treated badly. There's no doubt about it. But I don't bear grudges, and I would be more than welcome to, more than happy to meet with, as I say, any representative of the Indian government.
Debbie Abrahams, you've spoken to us. I'm glad, as I said, in the spirit of what we believe in the news today, we give every side a chance to be heard. We don't see you I don't see you as anti-national. I see you as someone who must be asked the questions that need to be asked. Thank you very much for joining me here on the news today. Up next.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.